on the I Love CVille Show. It's great to be with you on a glorious Friday afternoon. Not only glorious, but gorgeous, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, we're March 8th, and what are we dealing with, 60, 70-degree weather?
Oh, it's amazing. I usually say that I usually want it to be warm like this in March, but March tends to surprise me with some like last minute cold snaps, and so I'm very happy with the weather we've had this March.
Let's go, absolutely, Judah. And Judah Witkower's generosity on full display today after I gave him a little ribbing on yesterday's program. There goes Tim Longo. Chief Longo, how you doing? I just waved to the chief. He makes have we created a name for this, Chef Witkower?
Let's call it, how about...
Witkower stew?
How about spicy sausage stew?
Judah juice? That's kind of scary, the Judah juice.
No.
We're not going to call it Judah juice?
I mean, do you want to...
I don't want to eat Judah juice.
Yeah, and do you want to take it home and ask your wife if she'd like some...
Judah juice?
Let's not even...
We're not even going to go down that road. He has made us I'd call it, if chili fornicated with stew and soup, we get the Witkower wizardry in my hand right here.
I'll go into a little more detail about it later, but it's closer to a puzzle.
Okay. Let's go to the one shot so the viewers and listeners can see the headlines on screen. A number of breaking news items on today's program, which we're excited to talk about. Michie Tavern. The Michie Tavern deal is no more. Ladies and gentlemen, this hit the news cycle about a month and change ago. Michie Tavern was set to be purchased by the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, the nonprofit that owns Monticello, the nonprofit that owns Jefferson Vineyards. In fact, the Thomas Jefferson Foundation spent $11,750,000 last year to buy the 400-acre Jefferson Vineyard. The Thomas Jefferson Foundation, the nonprofit group that owns and operates the Monticello estate, was about to purchase, and in fact, the talk in deal maker circles was pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered, but the deal has fallen apart. We will read verbatim the nitty-gritty on what has transpired. This, straight from the source, Michie Tavern, and the owner, Greg himself. We have some good news and some not so good news regarding Michie Tavern. The prospective purchaser, which is the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, has terminated the contract. Here's the good news. We are still owned by the same proprietor and have been in business, that's been in business for over 50 years. The same proprietor owns this. More on that in a matter of moments. The beloved Greg continues to own Michie Tavern. More information on this deal that's fallen apart, ladies and gentlemen. You will continue to have a wonderful midday dining experience in the ordinary with great fried chicken, delicious biscuits, and the sides you love at Michie Tavern. You will recognize the staff. The staff will not be outsourced to a Pennsylvania hospitality group. That was the scuttlebutt with the Thomas Jefferson Foundation purchasing Michie Tavern. They were going to outsource the food and beverage management to a Pennsylvania hospitality group, which was then going to slash payroll and make cuts to further maximize profits. That's not going to happen anymore. More good news. The tavern shop will reopen soon. Here's the not so good news. It's going to take a while for new merchandise to arrive at the tavern shop. Jokingly, tongue-in-cheek, Greg, the proprietor, says, well, not so good news. Greg will not be retiring anytime soon. Remember, one of the key influences to this deal of Michie Tavern being sold to the Thomas Jefferson Foundation was Greg, the proprietor, was looking to retire. And if you know anything about the food and beverage business, it is a grueling business. And Greg McDonald has done a fantastic job of running Michie Tavern. So that is news that you may be hearing for the first time, news that after today's talk show will hit the legacy and traditional media cycles of print, radio, and television. Michie Tavern will not be purchased by the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, the nonprofit group that owns Monticello and Jefferson Vineyards. Where do you want to go with this one, Judah? Frankly, I find this to be fantastic for the community. I am a bit saddened for the owner who is looking to retire after many years of hard work.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, we are not going to see staffing outsourced, budgets cut, and an icon that is Michie Tavern will persevere and be preserved in its current form, at least for a little while longer.
Yeah, I think it definitely sounds like, aside from what you mentioned with the proprietor wanting to retire, it sounds like this is the better way to go. Even aside from the fact that that the Thomas Jefferson Foundation seems like it's been a bit of a you-know-what show recently. I think probably a lot of the staff at Michie Tavern are probably
relieved.
Are probably wiping their brows.
Oh, look at that. Judah with the brow wipe right there. If you want to get lower thirds on screen, my friend, I concur and agree with what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it would have been... It sounds like all of their jobs were potentially
on the chopping block,
in jeopardy.
Yeah,
and the insecurity of that cannot be enjoyable.
Holly Foster watching the program right now. Let's go to Holly Foster on screen. She's a key member of the I Love CVille viewer and listener family. We have multiple breaking news items in today's edition of the program. Holly Foster is watching in Henrico. She loves Central Virginia, Charlottesville, and Albemarle dearly. Number 17 in the family, Holly Foster. She says, I hope that Michie Tavern will be able to keep the staff in the original menu. Holly Foster, we hope as well, and now we can speak with confidence and conviction that it will happen. Why do you think the Thomas Jefferson Foundation backed out of this deal in the bottom of the ninth inning?
I don't know. Like I said, it sounds like they've had a lot of internal issues going on lately, and this may have just been an offshoot of one of those internal issues getting in the way of, I guess them acting as a single unit. But ultimately, who knows? Thomas
Jefferson Foundation certainly in the news. If you want to rotate the second lower third with the first lower third. Monticello's been in the news, not necessarily for all the right reasons. The nonprofit that owns Monticello, the estate, the Jefferson Vineyard neighboring property, and the organization that wanted to purchase Michie Tavern has had a level of scrutiny on it over the last 6 months with resignations at Monticello, surprise resignations.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of resignations, and catching serious flack from the community for outsourcing the food and beverage and hospitality management of Michie Tavern, a beloved brand.
To a Pennsylvania company.
To an out-of-state company, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you are hearing this for the first time, that is news that will certainly be in the legacy or traditional media cycle that has not penetrated yet television, radio, and print. This is another piece of breaking news. Spring Creek Golf Club in Louisa County has been sold. This surprised me. Spring Creek Golf Club and the Spring Creek gated community of Zion's Crossroads. The club has been purchased by Heritage Golf Group. Heritage Golf Group has 35 country clubs it owns across the United States. Its home office is in Northern Virginia. If that lower third's on screen, give me a thumbs up. Its home office, thank you, Judah, just outside Washington, D.C. Heritage Golf Group owns clubs in Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, the Commonwealth of Virginia, Michigan, and Wisconsin. The company continues to grow by acquiring a mix of private country clubs and residential communities, member-owned clubs with growth potential, seeking strategic alternatives, and premium daily fee and resort golf properties and major resort destinations in metropolitan markets. Spring Creek Golf Club is a gorgeous community. If you live in the Spring Creek neighborhood, you probably don't know this. You're talking one of the largest neighborhoods in Central Virginia. Spring Creek, nationally recognized golf course. It's a par 72, 18-hole championship course, 7,348 yards from the back tees. It was designed by Ed Carton. It's a course that's accessible for all golfers, yet challenging for tournament professionals. It's got a 15,000 square foot clubhouse with large multi-level outdoor areas offering spectacular views of the 18th finishing hole. The restaurant is open to the public and receives positive reviews. More breaking news for you. Spring Creek Golf Course in the 950-acre Spring Creek residential community in the Interstate 64 Zion's Crossroads corridor, 15 minutes from Charlottesville and 45 from Richmond, has been sold to Heritage Golf Group, which is based out of Herndon, Virginia. Significant right there. Significant. You have an out-of-market owner now owning one of the premier golf clubs in Central Virginia. Mm-hmm. Spring Creek, if you play this course, I would expect your rates to escalate. I would expect cart fees associated with playing this course to increase. I'm curious what's going to happen to current management and current staff. Anytime an out-of-market owner comes in and purchases something, they're doing it with the eye of maximizing profits. The same story with Michie Tavern.
Yep, I was just thinking that.
This is Michie Tavern, similar storylines, except in this storyline, the deals happened.
Yeah.
You will see this penetrate the legacy media cycle outside of once this show is completed. There's another golf club, country club, in our Central Virginia market that I'm hearing is off-market for sale. It is a tough business to be in. If you're a homeowner in Spring Creek, how do you respond to this news, Judah?
I think I'd have to wait and find out if they have, what kind of plans they have, how they're going to change things.
Not initial trepidation that an out-of-market owner owns the club. Remember, when you're buying in a gated community, your home ownership is tied to the success of the club.
Yeah.
Philip Dow, thank you for sharing the show. We appreciate you, Philip Dow. His photo on screen, if you could. Philip Dow in Scottsville, Virginia, is 14 in the family. John Blair, we appreciate you as well. His photo on screen, number 2 in the polls. Mr. John Blair. So not initially trepid from you, J-Dubs.
I think the fact that they have successfully taken over other businesses and the fact that you're right, they're going to have a lot of homeowners to answer to. I think that whatever happens, you're right. They'll try to maximize their profits, obviously. But I think in this case, we'll probably have to wait and see how drastic any changes are. That they
Time will
decide to make.
tell. John says, way to break some news, Jerry and Judah, on Michie Tavern. He also said he had the pleasure of attending a Monticello District Boy Scout event last night organized by Ginny Who, one of the key members of our family. John says Ginny Who is a first-class person. Let's get Ginny Who's photo on screen, number 4 in the family. We love hearing when viewers and listeners interact, conversate, and meet outside the show. A busy Friday for this talk show, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning into the show, the Thomas Jefferson Foundation has backed out of its purchase of Michie Tavern, the nonprofit that owns the Monticello estate and neighboring Jefferson Vineyards. Had a deal in place to buy Michie Tavern, the icon, and is now kiboshed the deal with the Thomas Jefferson Foundation backing out of the arrangement. If you're also just tuning into the program, Heritage Golf Club out of Herndon, Virginia, has purchased Spring Creek Golf Club in Louisa County. Judah's got the next headline. UVA disputing the DEI numbers, the diversity, equity, and inclusion numbers, and says it, in fact, is spending less. This is making traction, not just in Virginia, not just in the U.S., but with media outlets that have a worldwide feel and pull, including the Daily Mail.
Yeah, as far as UK and possibly further, but it's very interesting. UVA is alleging that a lot of the employees that fall under the DEI umbrella are full-time employees, such as teachers, and so you can't. What's the word? You can't throw their entire salary in with the DEI numbers.
Okay, read it verbatim.
Let's see. The university disputed parts of the report and says it only spends $5.8 million out of its annual $2.3 billion academic budget on DEI, which could be true. We've got, but we've still got some pretty highly paid employees there. And some of them seem like they may be a bit unhinged. There is
Unhinged. Wow.
They're one of the,
and this is according to the story.
Yes. Rachel Spraker, an equity and an equity and inclusive officer. I don't know if that should be equity and inclusivity. Who calls Appalachia's wave of premature deaths a sign of white toxicity.
What does this even mean?
What?
What does this even mean?
I think it's. I mean, would you call that racist?
What does this even mean? What is she even alluding to?
She's alluding to the fact that apparently she's from the Appalachia area, and I think she believes that there is a white toxicity problem there that is feeding into the fact that people, I don't know if it's necessarily committing suicide, but the fatality rate of people there seems to indicate she believes that it has to do with white toxicity. They also say researchers have highlighted Rachel Spraker, who makes $242,840 a year as an equity and inclusion expert with a track record in controversial comments about racism in her native Appalachia.
I don't care if people make good money. I don't care if people, and make sure we have the right lower third on screen if we can. Please. I don't care if people earn an income that is considered high. Props to them. I have no beef if employees of UVA are trying to maximize their earning potential. Props to them. I do have a beef when a number of $20 million a year is being allocated to staffers. And the spending watchdog Open the Books, you can find them online at Open the Books, reported recently that the flagship public college in the Commonwealth of Virginia, right here in Charlottesville, spends $20 million, 15 on salaries and 5 in benefits for its DEI staff. I said on this program, you're spending, I said this earlier in the week, if you're spending $20 million on DEI, should that $20 million be better spent on $450,000 a year scholarships?
Definitely.
Scholarships that could be genuinely allocated to students of color. That would seem to have a more significant impact on diversity, equity, and inclusion than hiring staffers.
Not to mention the fact that UVA has come under some scrutiny recently about their lack of action in the case of Jewish students being harassed. And it seems, I don't know, it seems egregious isn't the word I'm looking for, but it seems strange that they're spending this much money on equity and inclusiveness and then keeping mum about some of the things that have been done to students in the name of anti-Semitism.
And not just unique to UVA, that storyline. We've seen that storyline
certainly across the United States.
Certainly in Ivy League schools and certainly across the United States. Regardless, still a sad storyline.
Especially when you're spending
$20 million a year on DEI.
Whether it's $5.8 million or $20 million. There's more about Spraker here as well. Spraker has spoken about how her community embraced white supremacy and suggests that is linked to its social problems, which include rising rates of gun suicides and opioid overdose deaths. I grew up in rural Appalachia, she says in a video for the college's anti-racist table group. White people are dying of whiteness too, the toxicity of whiteness. Many of them were dying prematurely also in their 20s.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I have no idea. But she's getting paid an awful lot of money to spout some pretty crazy ideas.
I don't care what money that she's making.
Oh, I don't either.
I do care that she's utilizing her position and platform as a university employee to make that commentary that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I would. Can you unpack what she's alluding to here for me?
I don't know a whole lot about Appalachia, but I think she is just saying that the increased number of people in her home area who either through
suicides,
opioid
ODs,
overdose deaths, she's saying it's because they're white. And
what?
Talking about white toxicity.
Last I checked, suicide impacts people of any skin color. And drug overdoses impact folks of any skin color. How is it tied to whiteness?
You're asking the wrong person. It's kind of nuts.
It seems nuts.
It's kind of racist.
It seems nuts. It seems nuts. Brian Haluska walks by the studio right there with the fresh haircut. Holly Foster in Henrico says this: I would be worried about the purchase of Spring Creek if I was a Spring Creek homeowner. Many Kingsmill residents lost many of their amenities when the current ownership management company took over. What was once included in their dues was discontinued. If they wanted to use the health club, indoor pool, and restaurants, you had to buy yearly social memberships. I grew up in Kingsmill. I can speak to this. In Fairfax Woods is where I grew up. I will say this. If you were going to use the sports club and the indoor pools and the restaurant, you had to be a member of the club all along, even before the current ownership purchased the club. She does make an accurate point in that some of the amenities were lost once the new owner came in and purchased the club.
Yeah.
The new owner tried to maximize profit centers and basically turn everything into a money-making opportunity. I would imagine that could happen in Spring Creek.
No doubt.
When an outside of market or an outside of neighborhood purchaser buys a club, they're looking for every profit center possible. And I would expect in Spring Creek that fees will increase across the board. So if you're a resident, that is something to follow closely. In regards to UVA pushing back on its DEI spend, I will close the topic by saying I am all for the University of Virginia becoming more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. I think the money is best spent by allocating scholarships to further and inspire diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
I don't think the money is best spent hiring admins and assistants and personnel to drive this potential theme or narrative, especially when some of these folks are spouting out at the mouth and utilizing the UVA platform to basically say the deaths in Appalachia associated with suicide and drug overdose and opiate overdose are associated with the toxicity that comes from being white.
Apparently. It's nuts.
It seems like Looney Tunes there. Let's go to the next topic on today's talk show. Before I get to basketball, I want to highlight the generosity of Judah. Yesterday, I gave him a little bit of ribbing, kind-natured ribbing, although Philip Dow came to your defense in the comment section. I came into the studio today after a parent-teacher conference, which I attended, to a Tupperware container full of delicious soup, fornicates with stew, fornicates with chili. I opened the lid of this Judah Witkower Tupperware container.
About that.
And I catch a whiff of it, and it smells absolutely delicious. While opening the Tupperware container, which I'm holding in my hands right here, I see enough to feed the Miller family. And this will be on the dinner table this evening. I take a scoop on the talk show right now with a fork from my desk drawer, and I grab some sausage, looks like some bell peppers, some onions, some kale, some broth, cayenne.
I didn't put a whole lot of... I spiced it up a little bit more the last time I made it.
Oh, it's delicious.
I didn't want to... I don't know Lauren's how well she takes spicy food, so I didn't want to. And if you guys decided to,
I see an olive in here.
No,
this is an olive.
No.
Oh no, this is a big sausage.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
I didn't. And if you guys decided to give some to Trey, I didn't want to, make it too spicy. So I didn't actually add any cayenne or red pepper. Just it's got the poblano pepper, which isn't very spicy in itself. And
is there a synonym for stew or soup or chili that starts with W? The letter W. W. Anyone have a synonym for stew, soup, or chili that starts with the letter W? Can someone help us out? Anything at all? Judah, you're a wordsmith. Can you think of something? This is quite good. I will save some for the family here, but I'm going to have a couple more bites. This is quite good.
So I can't take all the credit. There is a wonderful blog called Cricket Hill. It is owned by the Pritzloffs.
By who?
The Pritzloffs.
Oh, I know Johnny. His wife does that work. What's the blog?
It's called Cricket Hill. CricketHillVA.com.
CricketHillVA.com.
And
Johnny Pritzloff getting some love on today's program. His beautiful wife.
Found a delicious.
Is it Glenna?
Yep. I found a delicious spicy beef stew recipe that I added.
Someone let Johnny Pritzloff and Glenna know his beautiful wife is getting some props. Oh, she's got a pimento cheese recipe on here.
Yep.
CricketHillVA.com.
I saw a lot of stuff on there.
Spicy beef stew.
Yeah.
Similar to, how did you find this website?
I think maybe I saw one of her Facebook stories with some food in it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I found CricketHillVA.com, found this recipe, looked interesting, so I gave it a try, added the kale to it, and then when I made it this time, I switched out the beef for the Italian sausage. And it's good.
It's quite good.
I highly recommend it.
Did you make it in the Instant Pot?
I did. I had to make some adjustments because her recipe is for a slow cooker. So I had to figure out how to convert it to the Instant Pot, but it came out very well. And I highly recommend it with some sour cream and a loaf of bread slathered in butter.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Do we have a W word that we can utilize with Witkower for some alliteration? I'm struggling to find a W word.
I don't know if there is a good W word for stew.
Synonyms for stew, chili, or soup. Let's start with W. I don't have one either. We're going to have to come up with a better brand. What was the brand you came up with? Obviously, we're not going to utilize Judah Juice because that has some creepy tendencies.
I think I said spicy sausage stew.
Spicy sausage stew is a so-so brand.
Despite your
It's not humanized,
love
localized,
affair,
or personalized. I got a fantastic one from the better half. Judah Jambalaya.
Judah Jambalaya.
That's a damn good one.
It's not bad, but it's not a jambalaya.
That's the front runner so far for Judah Jambalaya. That's not bad. That's the best one we got so far. This is what we specialize in. So I would hope you come up with something, and I come up with something. Stew, soup, chili. All right, you think about that. Witkower's Whirl.
Witkower's what?
Whirl? No, you don't like that one? Witkower's Willy Wah. A state of confused activity. That's not good either.
I thought you were just making up words.
No, Willy Wah is an actual word.
Alrighty then.
So far, Judah Jambalaya is number one. This is pretty good.
Well, don't
All
eat
right.
it. Don't eat it all.
I'm not going to eat it all. I'm going to save some for the family. UVA Georgia Tech tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, ACC Network. Many are saying it's a must-win game if Virginia's going to go dancing in March. You lose this game to the Yellow Jackets, and you may not get an NCAA tournament invitation. It's an 8 o'clock tip. Georgia Tech is 14-16 on the season, 7-12 in conference play. UVA is third currently in the regular season standings. They got to beat the Ramblin' Wreck. Judah Jambalaya is pretty damn good. Let's see what happens with Bennett's boys tomorrow night in a game that the selection committee certainly will watch. From an eye test standpoint, you got to close the season strong. And you got to close it with some zest, some pep, some success. We'll see what they do. All right, some closing thoughts from you, Witkower, on a 2-shot. I'm really enjoying your stew. Judah Jambalaya seems to be the front runner. Why do you not call it jambalaya? Because it's too runny? Too fluid-based?
No, not necessarily. Jambalaya is just a particular thing. Just like it's not a chili. It's not really
This is close to a chili. It's chili stew and soup.
What do you mean it's chili stew and soup?
It's a chili stew and soup. Albert Grays, welcome to the program. A chili stew and soup had a menage a trois. That's what this is.
I wouldn't call it a chili, though. Chili usually has beans and more beans, and then some more beans on top of that. And
Zupe Judah? This is what Kevin Yancey in Waynesboro says. And he said, what happened to the Vienna sausages and crackers, Judah?
Zupe Judah. What?
He said, what happened to the Vienna sausages and crackers, Judah?
Some other time.
I've worked alongside him for 13 years. And the first time in 13 years, Judah's brought food or a beverage or anything to the office. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was overwhelmed with your kindness and generosity today.
I'm glad you like it.
I was pleasantly surprised, my friend.
I hope Lauren likes it too.
What's that?
I hope Lauren likes it as well.
I think she will. I think she
Excellent.
absolutely will.
My closing thought: are we going to are the car washes?
Oh, you saw that on Reddit as well?
Yeah, are they trying to outdo the vape stores?
This was in relation to the Tiger Car Wash on Pantops. I'm excited for the Tiger Wash opening on Pantops. I think the Suttons do it right.
I have no doubt. I have no problem with them. It just seems, we've seen an explosion of both vape shops and car washes. Soon, one on every corner.
Well, I mean, there's a reason. You know why? They make money.
Yeah.
How about the storage units?
Yeah, those two.
There's storage units, vape shops, and car washes. They make money.
And
the Tiger Wash is across the street from another car wash, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe they're low cost to maintain.
Oh, it's going to be a pricing battle, a commodities battle there on the base of Pantops Mountain.
Could be.
Tiger Wash has got economies of scale.
Yeah.
And that they're local, they have the Tiger brand, they have the membership and loyalty club associated with their app. When you go to a place like Bel Air and you fill up, you use the app for gas purchases or to collect rewards associated with free sandwiches, 25, 50 cents off gallons of gas. They're going to weave the car washes into that app to try to get a market advantage. I'm continuing to eat Judah Jambalaya here.
There's not going to be any left. Sorry, Lauren.
No. There will be some left.
There just won't be any sausage left.
I'm not just eating the sausage from Judah Jambalaya. Thank you for this. I have noticed the prolific nature of car wash birthing in the community as well. Yeah. All right, that's the Friday edition of the I Love CVille Show. For the chef, Judah Witkower, the Bubini of the I Love CVille Show, the jack of all trades, the plan worked with Chef Giardini wearing the tank top, the hat, the crystal ball, and the magic wands. And our plan to see if we could influence the social media accounts that follow the program to post our content on their account worked perfectly. I'm excited for Giardini's outfit next week. He's got something cooking. And I hear Bubini's going to make a change to his wardrobe.
You're going to have some lace?
Oh, Giardini's got something good for the meme accounts. Bubini's changing the wardrobe, right?
Yeah, we'll see. If I can find what I was looking for.
Well,
otherwise I may just try something else.
Georgia Gilmer says, true chili doesn't have beans, Judah.
True chili doesn't have beans?
That's what she says.
Wow. Okay.
I like my chili with beans.
I do too.
Kidney beans, right?
Kidney beans. What was the other ones? I think I use kidney beans and what are the... I can't remember the name.
Well, we don't have to look up the beans you use. All right. Do something outside. Keep your money local and support this community. The Friday edition of the I Love CVille Show, wherever you get your social media. Thank you kindly for joining us. For Bubini, I'm Giardini. We will see you Monday at 12:30. So long, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Excellent work.